Welcome to this year's Plymouth Energy Communities set of annual general meetings. We're going to start with PEC Trust in a moment, and then we're going to carry on next with PEC Community Benefit Society. My name's Ian Hutchcroft. I'm the chair of PEC Trust. Before we start the AGMs formally, I'm going to hand over to Alistair. I'm sure you all know Alistair McPherson, who's the CEO of PEC. So Alistair's just going to cover a few housekeeping points to help us run through the mechanics of these AGMs and to make sure that everybody can participate fully and properly and knows how to vote, because that's the excitement, folks. You're going to get a vote on all sorts of things today. So, Alistair, over to you.
Thank you, Ian. Welcome everyone to our 2025 AGMs. Just a few points of housekeeping and a bit of context setting from me. So in case anybody's having trouble, if you can't see me, you can't hear us, best thing to try is to leave the meeting, click and then rejoin. If that still doesn't work, please email support@plymouthenergycommunity.com and we've got somebody watching that channel and we'll try to assist you. We are recording this meeting and it will be later published on our website. If you don't wish to be visible, please do just turn off your camera, although it will be much more human if we can see your faces. We prefer it that way if we can. So just to avoid any background noise and interference in the discussion, everyone who's not due to present during the meeting has automatically been set on mute. If you have a question, then please do post them in the chat box, chat function at the top of the screen, or raise your hand and we will unmute your microphone. Right, I'm sure you all know that PEC, we're a family of charitable and social enterprise organisations. We have a cooperative ethos and seek to put our members and local people in control. And because of that, good governance is important to us. And this evening's suite of AGMs is part of that. Whilst we love good governance, we love the impact that we are having more. And so each year we take the time to tell that story in terms of what we've achieved across the last 12 months. And our 2025 impact report was circulated with these papers. And I wanted to take some time to encourage you to look at that, share it with pride, discuss it with your friends and families and anyone else that will listen. These stories are important. Millions of people, including children, live in fuel poverty. And there is a growing mountain of debt putting pressure on those least able to afford it. The energy crisis, remember that? Guess what? It's still going on. Going on for 4 years now, meaning household budgets have been stretched and many are struggling in cold and unhealthy homes. Energy debt is now at record levels. So the situation is stark. It was stark when we set up PEC and it's got starker, with people either having to choose between heating or eating, or to choose whether to accrue debt or live in homes that will negatively impact their physical and mental well-being. Yesterday was National Fuel Poverty Awareness Day. And so alongside our pride in our impact, what we've done well, we need to remember that whilst the energy system is at the core of our society's need, it doesn't operate fairly. It's dysfunctional, it's a dirty system, and it's unjust. At PEC, we're trying to change this, but still 7 million UK households, 6 million children continue to live with the daily challenge of fuel poverty. It's an ongoing and stark reminder of the challenges that we face. That's 14,000 households here in Plymouth, meaning that parts of our city, this is a reality for every 5th house you walk past. Alongside this, we have the ongoing challenge of the need for expedient, rapid, urgent action on climate. Whilst we have seen this year the continuing polarisation of the politics on this issue, polls clearly show that people in Britain are concerned and worried about climate change. 74% feel the issue is important, and crucially, they don't believe scrapping action will save them money. But people are not engaged. The research shows us that people need to see the positive progress that's already underway. They need to hear that climate progress can make their life, their communities, their places, and their futures tangibly better. They need to feel that this is possible and that everyone can play a part. Our impact report is a fantastic evidence of the role we are already playing in making action real and relatable. But if we're going to win the argument with those that seek to rubbish the need for urgent action, we need to use the stories within that impact report more and to give them new platforms. So before we get into the meat of our AGM, I wanted to thank you for your ongoing support, your attendance this evening, and to ask you to do two things. Talk about local energy solutions, and about the work we are doing. Read, share, and use the impact that we are having to give others hope. Action number one, talk about this stuff. It's important. Action number two, you need to ask the government to follow through on the commitments it has said it wants to put communities at the heart of the energy transition. It's really simple to make your voice heard at the moment. Community Energy England, who I am a director of, have a Up the Energy campaign right now, which allows you to sign an open letter to government, encouraging them to follow through on the commitments they have previously made on the local power plan, on local supply, on warm homes plan. And the link for this campaign is going to be put in the chat. So thank you. So now on to the AGM mechanics. So in this meeting, we're covering the AGMs of PEC Trust and PEC CBS. Each entity has its own chairperson, and they will introduce themselves at the beginning of each meeting. You've already met Ian. And the proposal is to hold the AGMs in the order of PEC Trust and then PEC CBS. You will only be able to vote on the decisions of the entity that you are a member of. And to add to confusion, some of the entities have both members and supporters, and since only members can vote, we first need to ensure that everyone present is clear which entity they are able to vote on. The resolutions in these AGMs require a majority show of hands of the members present. In these online AGMs, it is sometimes tricky to count the numbers of hands in favour, so apologies if this process takes a few seconds each time, but we will use the conventional order of voting, by which I mean we will ask you who wish to support the resolution to raise their hands first, and ask those who wish to vote no to raise their hands. And finally, anyone who wishes to abstain from the voting to raise their hands. Each chair will make the instructions clear before asking members to vote. Before we continue, we want to check that everyone has the ability to raise their hand button to vote, the digital one, and you should see this as a hand-shaped outline, which will either appear towards the top of your screen, or when you move your mouse, it should appear in the black bar. Please, can you all have a try at selecting the hand button? Oh, we're getting good at this, aren't we? That is a lot of hands. Have we all found our hands? If you are unable to use the digital one, please just physically raise your hand on screen and have your camera on so we can see it. Please keep your hand raised whilst we check. think we're there. Do I get nods from Liz? Are we functional when the hand function plays? Good.
Yes, thanks.
So hopefully everyone is clear on our proposed voting approach. But please do post any questions in the chat if you haven't. So thank you, everyone. Before we start the formal proceedings, we need to ensure that the number of members present for each AGM is enough to make the AGMs quorum in accordance with the rules. We will read out the members from each entity that have been registered to attend. Please bear with us whilst we check the quorum numbers. James, please can you read out the members of PEC Trust so that we can check we are there.
Yep. So obviously yourself, Al, Anne Skolsky, Christine Watchman, Claire Mains, David Madge, Didier Cavrot, Donna Ryle, Jill Peel, Ian Hutchcroft, myself, Jason Hargreaves, Gemma Knowles, Jess Hollyland, John Fearon, Josh McCarthy, Kate McAvoy, Katie Hughes, Lee Richards, Liz Wells, Michelle Virgo, Mohammed Chand, Neil Stevens, Nikki Durbin, Owen Riles, Paul Elliott, Sam Oloche, and Zoe Sydenham.
Thank you, James. If you believe you are a member of PEC Trust and your name has not been read out, please write something in the chat now so we can check you off against the membership list. Other than that, I'm happy to say we are Cora, and therefore I'm happy to hand back to Ian to steer us through the formal proceedings.
Great, thanks very much, Alistair, and thanks everybody for being here. As Alistair said, governance is really important to us. We're a social enterprise, community-based organisation, and this is letting sunlight in on our impact report and on our financial proceedings, and ensuring that the community has a chance to have its say and lead and what PEC does. So I hope you found the annual impact report informative. It shows the impact that the whole family of organisations is having. We've formatted it slightly differently this year and put the impacts front and centre of what we've done, reflecting our new strategy, which we adopted around a year ago. Just a reminder, as Alistair said, we need to remind you that you can only support a resolution if you are a PEC Trust member. We are quorate for the meeting, so that's item 1 on the AGM agenda dealt with. We are quorate. Item 2 is to take apologies. So we have received apologies from Kieran Van Bussel, who's a trustee and a member, Tracy Ebrell, who is a trustee and a member, although she's going to try and get here maybe a bit later. Jake Berniat, who's a trustee and a member. Paul Hardman, again, Paul's going to try and join us by the end of the meeting if he can, who's a trustee and a member. Sophie Short is a member who gives her apologies, and Anne Skulsey may be running late as well.
She's present, Ian. Thank you.
Oh, are you, Anne? Well done. Well done. Good to see you. Liz, is there anybody else who's...
Yeah, Chris Penberthy's had to give late apologies.
Okay.
He's a member. Thank you.
Thank you. So item 3 is to receive the trustees' report and audited financial statements for the period ending 30th of June 2025. That's our financial year end. Please, can I have a member to propose that we do that we receive and accept the trustees' report? Please, could I ask somebody to volunteer to propose?
Slight problem. Everyone's on mute probably, so I'll jump in there.
Thank you, Liz. Can I also have a volunteer to second the proposal?
You can do it by raising hand.
I think that was Josh might have got in there first.
Great, well done, Josh. Thank you very much. So to ensure that this is supported by the majority of PEC Trust members present, as explained by Alistair, I'm going to ask that PEC Trust members only raise your virtual hand if you wish to support this resolution. Thank you. Please put your hands down. I think that shows a clear majority of people accepting the recommendation to accept the report and audited financial statements. But just to be sure, are there any PEC Trust members present who wish to vote against the motion?
I think we still had some hands up from the previous vote, so I've just put everyone's hands down. So if anyone wanted to vote, they need to do it again.
I
Thanks,
wasn't
James.
voting against.
So all hands down. So let's go again. If anybody would like to vote against the motion, please put your hand up now. Okay, I didn't see a hand. And also, finally, if there's any trust member who wish to abstain on this motion, please raise your hand now. Okay, I can't see a hand there. So I think all hands are down. Thank you. We can move on to item 4 now. So this is to reappoint TC Bromhead Chartered Accountants as the auditors of the company for the ensuing year and to authorise the trustees to set their remuneration. Again, please can I have a proposer for this motion? Thank you. I think Owen got in there first. And can I have a seconder for the motion? Can't see who got in there first.
Jess.
Jess, thank you very much. So again, just with the previous motion, to ensure that this is supported by the majority of PEC Trust members present, I'll ask you again to indicate your vote in the conventional order. Firstly, can PEC Trust members raise their virtual hands if they wish to support this resolution? Okay, thank you. Please put your hand down. I can see a few hands up. Please take your hand down. Great. Is everybody's hand down? I think so. Clear majority. But just to make sure, if any PEC Trust member would like to vote against this motion, please put your hand up now. Okay, I don't see any hands up. I think we've got no hands up, so we can go on to if anybody would wish to abstain from this motion, please put your hand up now. I can't see anyone. So that was a clear majority of PEC Trust members are in favour of this resolution, and as such, this resolution is approved. So item 5 on the agenda is to elect the trustees in accordance with the required voting process. So as per the PEC Trust articles, each year 1/3 of the elected trustees must stand down. And this year, the trustees standing down are me, Ian Hutchcroft, and Kieran Van Bussel. Both Kieran and I wish to re-stand for re-election. So candidates for election to the board of PEC Trust, the two of us in this case, are summarised by their statements which you have been issued via email or post. Unfortunately, tonight Kieran is unable to make this meeting due to an unavoidable work commitment. However, he wanted to reassure you that this is not a reflection on his commitment to being a PEC trustee, and not, Kieran's a very good attender at our board meetings and a very good supporter of trust. So I think there's no doubt there from those of us that know Kieran. But anyway, he wanted to make sure that you were all aware that he's fully committed to being a PEC Trust trustee for another term. As set out in his nomination summary, he is standing for re-election to the PEC Trust board, and I quote, "I am standing for re-election to the PEC Trust board as a trustee because I feel that it is important for locally owned energy solutions and energy advice to be part of the transition to a net zero future and the fight against climate change. I think that I can continue to play a role in supporting PEC as it provides much needed leadership in these areas for Plymouth." Hear, hear. And you've seen my statement as well. So for 2 vacant positions on the board, there have been 2 nominations. As per our election policy, a ballot is therefore not required, as the number of valid nominations are the same as or fewer than the number of positions. Those candidates shall be deemed elected, providing a simple majority of votes cast by members affirms the candidacy by show of hands at this AGM. To ensure that this is supported by the majority of PEC Trust members present, I'll ask you to indicate your vote in the usual way. So for Kieran, please can PEC Trust members only raise their virtual hands if they wish to support this resolution. That's great, thank you. We've definitely got a majority of hands up there. And just for the record, if anybody would like to vote against Kieran being re-elected as a trustee, please first of all, please put your hand down if you voted. Let's make sure we've got everybody's hand down first. I think all hands are down now. So if you would like to vote against Kieran being re-elected, please put your hand up now. I don't see any hand go up. And if any PEC Trust member would like to abstain from this vote, please put your hand up now. I don't see any hand go up. Okay, so that was really clear. We have a majority of PEC Trust members in favour of Kieran Van Bussel serving as a PEC Trust trustee for another term. So over to myself, Ian Hutchcroft. So I'm re-standing as well. Please can PEC Trust members only raise their virtual hands if they support the resolution that I be re-elected to the board. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for supporting me. And would you like to put your hands down now, please?
I can do that for everyone. So if it's helpful, rather than the confusion of putting hands up and down, after we've counted the vote, I can just lower everyone's hands.
Oh, great. Do that. Thanks. Thanks, James. Okay. So if anybody would like to vote against this motion, please could you put your hand up now? Okay, I don't see a hand up. If anybody would like to abstain from this motion, please could you put your hand up now? Okay, I don't see anyone. Thank you. So that was clear. A clear majority of PEC Trust members are in favour of me, Ian Hutchcroft, serving as a PEC Trust trustee for another term. Thank you very much. So that's the end of the formal agenda for the PEC Trust AGM, but now is an opportunity for any PEC Trust members to ask questions. So if you'd like to raise your hand, if you'd like to ask a question, or you can type in the chat with your question. Now's your chance to do that. And if you do want to ask a question verbally, just remember to unmute yourself as well.
No questions.
Okay. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you. That's the end of the PEC Trust AGM. Thanks, everybody, for coming. Thanks for taking part in our governance for this year. So now I can hand over to Michelle, the chair of PEC CBS, for the PEC CBS annual general meeting. Over to you, Michelle.
Thank you. Alistair, do you want to do the bit about checking that we've got the right people here?
I think we can confirm we have. We are corporate, so it's much simpler exercise for PEC CBS. So I can confirm we are corporate.
And is this now an opportunity for people who are not members of PEC CBS to be able to leave the meeting if they don't want to stay for the next bit?
Yeah, free to go.
You're free to go if you're not a member of PEC CBS. I'll give people a minute to pop out of the room. Okay, would it be also helpful for Liz to read out the names of the members for the purposes of voting so that we just know who it is who can vote whilst we're here?
Yeah, happy to do that. So as far as I can tell, in terms of people who've registered and who are PEC CBS members, I'll just read you guys out. So we have Alistair, Chris Penberthy, who registered but unfortunately has to send his apologies. Claire Mains, Jill Peel, Jason Hargreaves, Gemma Knowles, John Fearon, Lee Richards, myself, Michelle, Paul Elliott, and Zoe Sydenham, I think, has dropped off the call. So, but everyone else is here. Thank you. Definitely call it.
Super. So welcome to the PEC CBS annual general meeting. You know who you are as members, you know who's able to vote, and we'll use exactly the same process as the meeting we've just been in, so it should be very straightforward. As Liz and Alistair have just confirmed, we are definitely core for the meeting. That's item number 1 ticked off. Apologies have been received from Kieran Van Bussel, and as you've also heard from Chris Penberthy. Any other apologies, Liz? Cool.
Thank you.
Okay. Cool. So we're on to the voting part. The first item is to receive the director's report and financial statements for the year ended 30th of June 2025. Please may I have a proposer for that motion? Okay, I can see that's from Jan and John Fearon. And can I have a seconder, please? Paul Elliott, thank you. Then in that case, can everybody who is in favour of the motion, please raise your hand now. Thank you. James, if you could lower those. Anybody who would like to vote against the motion? And anybody who wants to abstain? Okay, the motion to receive the director's report and financial statements has been passed. The next item on the agenda is electing directors. So, as per the PEC CBS articles, each year, 1/3 of the elected directors must stand down. This year, the director standing down will be myself, Michelle Virgo. I'm happy to stand for re-election, as there's one vacant position on the board, and there's one nomination. A ballot is not required under our election policy. As the number of valid nominations is the same or fewer than the number of positions, the candidates, me, shall be deemed elected, provided we have a simple majority here. So in order to approve my election to the board, please can we have somebody propose it, to propose that resolution that I be elected? Thank you. I think I saw Gemma. I don't know, there might have been somebody else first. And do we have a seconder? Jason, thank you. Please, would everybody who would like to vote in favour raise their hand now? Thank you. James, could you lower those when you're ready? And anyone who would like to vote against? Anyone who'd like to abstain? Okay, so that's passed and I'm re-elected as a director. Thank you very much, everyone. Those were the items of business that you needed to vote upon. Does anybody have any questions? As before, you can type them in the chat. You can unmute yourself and ask, or raise your hand and ask. Jill, is that a question from you?
Well, it is sort of a question, but I'm going to answer a question that I would have asked myself, because we have people on the call who are not voting as members of PEC CBS. I thought it's worth an explanation of who PEC CBS are. So PEC CBS stands for Plymouth Energy Community Benefit Society, and it was the original Plymouth Energy Community Benefit Society that was set up, the first cooperative that was established in 2013. So Michelle does a really good job in chairing a small board. There are resources that we still hold within that company, and the majority of it is given out to grants. You know, PEC Homes, Chelsea Meadow, etc. So within the family to underwrite projects that we're trying to put forward across the PEC family. So it does have still has an important role. And the reason we set up PEC Trust was because we grew the membership of PEC CBS in the first instance, involved in switching electricity of many residents, over 2,000 or 3,000 in Plymouth in 2013, 2014, and we just couldn't really get the voting for that many people to pass an extraordinary resolution to convert to a charity. So that's why it still exists, and thank you for everybody that still play their role in it.
Thanks, Jill. That's really helpful. Any other questions? Excellent. Okay, I think that now brings us to the end of the proceedings of the PEC CBS AGM for 2025. I think it's probably just over Alistair to say a few final words.
Thanks, Michelle. Thanks, Ian, for the previous one. So yeah, that's the end of this part of the PEC Trust PEC CBS AGMs. Thank you everyone for supporting and joining this annual shindig of governance fun. For those wishing to join and needing to join the PEC Renewables one, you've got a separate link and a separate meeting to that, and that will start at 5:30. So yeah, see you on the other side, those who are coming to PEC Renewables, and thank you to everybody for your, as members, as trustees, as directors and as staff, for your ongoing support. It is much appreciated. Have a good night.